From the halls of ivy-covered universities to the corridors of power, secret societies have long been a source of fascination and speculation. Are they simply harmless social clubs, or do they hold the keys to powers and influence? Tonight on Newsworthy, 2 words and 2 question marks.
It's alive!
Have you checked the children?
Get out!
You have scoured the podcast world and finally found us, Newsworthy with Steve and Jerry, where we delve into all things mysterious, macabre, or out of this world, and decide if they are truly newsworthy. 2 words and 2 question marks.
Why should you work with Ed Locke? A better question is, why wouldn't you work with him? He is proud to support an amazing lender, USA Mortgage.
When you work with them, you can expect a home financing experience that is free of hassles and headaches. They have complete control over your loan due to in-house operations such as processing, underwriting, closing, and funding.
USA Mortgage represents a lot of fantastic things, but they are especially thrilled to partner in several community outreach programs, including Habitat for Humanity, Home Sweet Home, Veterans Community Project, and many, many more. They love going to work every day, which means they love working for you. Ed wants to be your lender for life, so reach out to him today and get the journey started.
If you would like more information, please reach out to Ed Locke at area code 502-680-0953, NMLS 448908, USA Mortgage NMLS 227262. USA Mortgage is an equal housing lender. This is not a commitment to lend. Additional terms and conditions may apply. For licensing information, go to www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org.
Oh, if you listened on Patreon, which we don't have established yet, you would have just seen an amazing exchange of the meeting of the minds, but
hour and a half.
we're not there yet.
We were back on the old topics, news, politics.
We were talking politics over dinner that just spilled over into the show, and we've restarted, and we're ready to go now, refreshed and energized.
3 hours from when we should have started.
We are energized now, though, and that's good. But you know, I'm really sore, guys. It was so cold last week.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. It was so cold, I went outside and slipped and fell on a frozen newspaper.
No,
Yeah.
that didn't suck.
I fell on hard times.
Oh,
Sorry, I love that joke.
we can tell. You're not even drinking alcohol.
Not one drop.
That's a
Listen,
bottle and a half
Listen.
of wine left
Listen, I just want to tell you all, and if you guys follow our show 2 weeks ago, I may have had a beverage one too many. And it came through. So I came through. It came through bad.
Is that why you're not drinking tonight?
That's why I'm not drinking. Well, I'm on that diet. So
Well, okay, that's what I was assuming.
I've started my low iodine diet, preparing for
Is there iodine in wine?
No, actually, I can have wine. But the problem is, I didn't eat a very good dinner to hold that, and
I mean, you had potatoes. That'll soak it up.
yeah. Well, I'm trying to behave.
Well, let me just tell you all.
We're glad you're back.
I tell you what, the legal battle to get out of that zoo was ridiculous. I mean, I'm $10,000 in debt just in lawyer fees right now. But I did learn something.
What'd you learn?
So, did you all know that koalas aren't actually bears?
You told us this the last time you went to the zoo.
Did I?
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I've not said this joke.
You have.
I've
Let
not
me
said
give you
this.
the punchline. They don't meet the qualifications.
I said this joke before?
Yeah.
I didn't remember.
Yes. you did
Well,
the
while you
joke
come up with another
I
one,
gotta find another
I'll do
joke.
mine.
Are you serious?
The last time you were on with this, you
No
said
way.
this. Absolutely.
I think I told you I was thinking about doing that.
No, you did it. I swear to you.
Oh, I did. You're right. That's right there.
You were saying you fell on hard times.
I did.
Yeah, well, I kind of had the opposite week. I've decided what my next job's going to be.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Cleaning mirrors.
Oh?
I can really see myself doing that. Oh, you don't like it?
I'm
Guys
just
don't like my
super
joke?
upset right now. I was on the car ride here and I was like, oh, they talked about the zoo. I'm like, I'm gonna bring up this koala joke that I thought about doing. And now it's just ruined. Oh man.
Here's
I
a
had
good
it
one
all
for you.
planned out, dude. No, I don't need your petty jokes.
Here, I'll go with you.
Fine.
Fine, I'll do
You know
it
what, I
for
just-
you
I
while
just
you
might
come
not
up with
be-
this one.
It might not be that.
Since y'all didn't like my last one, I got another one.
Actually, I loved your last one.
I don't know if you guys knew it, but I was raised an only child,
Really?
which I really feel
Your
was-
brother would feel really bad
It was
about
awful.
saying that.
Part of my brother. It really was. Very unfair to him.
Oh, man. Wow.
That was a rough start for me.
Well, it's okay, Brett, because while you were thinking there, I just got a text from my wife with one word. It says Earth. It
Earth.
means the world to me.
I said this joke. I said this joke before.
Here's another
Oh,
joke
man.
that Brett told me a while back, only he didn't tell it to me as a joke. He said that, remember when he's telling us, he said that his girlfriend kept accusing him of cheating? Said she's starting to sound like his wife.
Oh man.
The funny thing, the last time I was at Brett's house, his wife yelled at me from the other room. She goes, "Hey, Steve, have you ever been like having a pain in your back, like someone's stabbing you with a voodoo doll?" And I'm like, "No, why?" She goes, "How about now?" I figured it was time to leave.
Yep, pretty good sign right there.
All right, this is not prepared. What do y'all call an apology written in dots and lines
What?
over a Morse code?
Oh,
I know. Listen, that was a
5 minutes in to get to that.
you guys just came up with a bunch of good ones, and I was like, that's the first one that I was like, that sounds good.
I'm going to do one you guys told me not to do a long time ago.
Oh, no.
Oh shoot,
Oh.
this is a Patreon only.
No.
Joke.
Well, maybe. Anyway, I was driving down the road the other day and I saw my ex. And I was thinking it's funny how the phrase, "I'd hit that," changes over the years.
Gosh.
That was a good one. I remember that one.
You wanted me to do it at the time.
Yeah. And you did it. It finally made it on the show.
Steve was reaching for his blood pressure
I
medicine.
could not get to the mute button fast enough.
I really want to do that reverse cowgirl joke, but I'm not going to.
Wow.
Yeah, if we ever get a Patreon started, we're going to have a dad joke segment.
Anywho.
Anywho,
That'd be a good thing for YouTube Shorts. Is our
Yeah.
dad jokes.
It would be nice.
that would quickly end our YouTube.
It would
Account.
demonetize us very rapidly. So, the good news is, the cool thing is, next week we have a almost new studio. Pretty exciting stuff, right?
Weather permitting, right?
Weather permitting. We will have more access to all the things, which makes me very happy.
Oh, things considered.
All things considered. And tonight's episode is kind of, we were talking about it. So a little bit of backstory. So we usually decide next week's topic at the end of this week's topic. We try to change it up so we're not hitting the same topics, over and over and over again.
Even
We
the
try to
same
make-
genre. We try
Yeah,
to
we
change
try
that
to
up a
switch the
little bit.
genre a little bit just to keep everybody interested.
Yep.
And when we picked this one that we're going to cover tonight, we were like, "Ooh, that sounds fun." It was actually Brett's idea, of course. He'd sent us a message from the zoo, We even talked about the girl you met over there. We heard she was a real keeper. Anywho.
Zookeeper.
Didn't we did this joke too, right?
I did that. I redid that one. It
Was that last week?
Yeah.
You did that one last week?
Yeah.
I swear you did that when I was here, but
Anywho.
yeah, anyways, go ahead.
So while Brent was gone, he sent us a message, because we still were talking with him. He had his phone before the battery went out. And we decided to do this topic, and we were like, yeah, that sounds really cool. And we do this occasionally. We
Get into it.
we get into it, and by the time we realize, oh, that's not very juicy, it's already too late to switch topics and change up. But we're going to do this one as much justice as we possibly can. We're going to even get into some of the conspiracy theories about it. But I already know which way I'm leaning going into this one, and I try to keep an open mind.
This was my idea, and I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I already know where I'm leaning as well. But
So tonight we're going to be talking about secret societies, and more importantly, and more to the point, I guess, secret societies based in colleges.
Yes, collegiate secret societies.
And given their name, I don't know why we thought it'd be a great idea, because they are secret societies. And if they weren't secret societies, they wouldn't have any intrigue or what's the words I'm looking for, Jerry?
I think intrigue summed it up.
You
quite
know,
well.
they all that we have is a lot of speculation.
But there's a reason why groups like this typically are secretive, right?
Right.
We assumed there was more reason,
right.
I think, than what we were actually. We're not saying that the reasons aren't there. We're saying that we've not been able to unearth those reasons.
And that's
to
three
a
of
large
us
degree.
digging just as fast as our little.
And let me just tell you, like I was telling you all before the show, I think Google has a lot of secret society people, because
Working for them.
I was trying to research this. I was like, rumors of secret societies, and rumors about Skull and Bones. And I'll tell you what Google did is just give me a whole lot of nothing. Nothing compared to anything I put in that search bar, because I mean, it was coming up with all kinds of crazy stuff like that was nothing related to Ivy League conspiracies. It was crazy. But anyways, so you people at Google, I'm on to you, just so you know.
We know whose payroll you're on.
And we're gonna get you.
So, who's wanting to start it?
I can go ahead. This is my topic. I can get it started, and then you
So-
guys can.
What we're going to kind of do here is, before we start, just kind of give them one overview. We're going to cover a few of the societies. Jerry, you found like 160 college-based secret societies.
And you're going to cover
right?
every single one.
No.
In detail, beginning to... Okay. No, we're not doing that. What we're going to do is we've kind of picked out our favorites, the ones we want to talk about. And then we're going to come back to secret societies, but we're going to leave the college ranks and talk about some of the bigger ones that are out in the world, the world for adults and stuff at a later time. So just because you don't hear your secret society that you like today, there's looking at you, Freemasons. Here's looking at you, Illuminati,
Yeah.
New World Order. We will at some point come back to you.
Hear that, Google?
Today we're going to focus on the ones that are based in or have origins in some sort of higher education. So, and again, we're not going through all 160. We've kind of picked our favorites.
143.
Oh, 143. And so that's what you can expect in this episode. So, Brett, lead us out. Lead the charge, my man.
So what is a secret society? So it's a club or group that restricts membership. It makes a significant effort to keep their affairs, membership roles, signs of recognition, initiation, or other aspects secret from the public, which is why these groups and organizations get so many conspiracies made up about them, because in reality, we don't know anything about them. So we just, we're left to the imagination. So as we talked about, these aren't exclusively at Ivy League schools, but the societies at these Ivy League schools are usually a lot older, and they have a list of notable members that we can look at, that we can research. So just to talking about secret societies, some that are well known that aren't some of the things that we just talked about, like Christianity at the beginning was a secret society. They had to be secret because they were trying to avoid persecution from the Romans.
Still is in China.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, you're right. It still
all
is in some
churches,
sort of-
all churches in China are house churches.
Right. The Freemasons we talked about. They had 13 of the 39 men who signed the Constitution. 13 of them were Freemasons, including Ben Franklin, George Washington, John Hancock. The Mafia is a secret society. So again, those are just some examples. So many movies and books have been influenced by these secret societies. This is actually what made me want to talk about the topic, because I just read this book called Ninth House. And it was a book that took place at Yale, and it was about this girl who gets into this secret society because she has some supernatural powers, and essentially gets into this demonic lifestyle of these secret societies. And actually the author was a part of Wolf's Head, which is a secret society at Yale. It was one of the bigger ones. Anyways, it just got me in. At the end of the book, they, of course, I was reading this, never heard about any of these secret societies. And then at the end of the book, they were listing all the societies and the notable members that have been attended. And I was like, what? So that's kind of what got me thinking, oh, this would be a good topic. And of course, we started looking into it. There's not a lot of solid evidence that anything abnormal is going on at these places, other than the main thing is really the people who are a part of these secret societies.
So, which one is your favorite? If you had to pick a society that you're like, ooh, which one is it?
So, as far as in college, or just any society?
Well, so today we're going to keep it to the
So
college.
Skull and Bones is my favorite.
All right.
As far as
Before
college.
he goes into Skull and Bones, that'll be next. One question. How would you define the difference between what we're going to talk about and fraternities and sororities? A lot of what they do is in secret. What's the difference?
I would say this may be up
That's a
for
good question.
Yeah, this may be up for debate, but I would say the difference is the fact that they're sworn to secrecy. I don't know. I was never in a fraternity. I don't know if they're
Me either.
any
They
different.
are.
So
Many of their
it seems like, especially these Ivy League schools, I know there's secret societies all over. The most of these members are selectively chosen. You just end up with an envelope under your door saying that you have an invite to the secret society.
And that's typically from multiple people wanting you to be a member, or you being a particular grade point average,
Right.
or coming from a particular background. I don't know. Maybe the sororities, sororities and the
sororities and
sororities. Thank you.
They do much of
Those
the
are
same
the
thing.
yeah.
They do much of the same thing. A lot of the ones that
Well-
are highly selective are
Right, they
very
have the
similar.
rush week, and you're basically meeting these people, and
You'll have to be asked to pledge, or
you
you're not.
do have to be asked. Yeah, right.
Which is, for some of them, are very highly competitive.
Yeah.
And
There's a lot of overlap between these groups.
Well, my question, we're just stepping all over you, Brett. Sorry.
no.
My question is, and we've kind of talked about this a little bit right before Brett got even here today. What do you think is the main driver about, well, you were saying they're competitive. So what do you think the main driver for a person wanting to be?
Networking.
Absolutely.
Network. It's like,
Period.
why would you want? So here's the
Any
thing.
of these.
So if I go to Harvard, so I got a degree in engineering. If I went to Harvard, guess what? The information is the same as it is at UK. What's the benefit of going to that Ivy League school for $50,000 a year? You're going to school with the top-notch kids in the entire world, and you're going to be able to network with those people.
Yeah.
Those are going to be CEOs. Those are going to be, financial advisors. Those are going to be, Those are going to be presidents, senators. Those are going to be people in power, and that's the benefit, and that's the whole benefit of the
Whether
secret
it's the
society.
school or the secret society or fraternities or Freemasons or any of it. It's all networking.
It's all networking. Yeah, and
You know, I agree with all of that. You know what? The one thing that in today's world helps nullify some of that a little bit,
Sure.
as far as power goes, and power to
Communications.
yeah,
all of it, internet,
These
everything.
microphones sitting in front of us. I think
Sure.
that so I try to never lose sight of how much is here. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. Tell us about Skull and Bones.
no, I think that was a good question because it's like, why is this important? Like, why would you even want to be a part of this secret
Right.
society? I think that's a great question to have, and it's definitely the networking. And I think the big reason why these secret societies get a bunch of notoriety is because we figure out, like in 2004. So I'm going to start talking about Skull and Bones. This is a Yale secret society. In 2004, the two main presidential candidates were Skull and Bones members.
Both.
Both of them. And was it John Kerry and George Bush?
Can you imagine that meeting?
So
I bet they didn't sit together.
So when asked what it meant that this was asked of John Kerry, what it meant that he and George Bush were both Bonesmen, he said not much because it's a secret, which I thought was really funny. Anyways, so Skull and Bones. This was my favorite of the ones that I've researched, but it's one of the
Did
oldest.
you know? Just real quick, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
there you
Speaking of John Kerry, that his wife was out running him one day and running away from him, and he was yelling at her, "Honey, what do I need to do? What do I need to do?" And she's like, "Just catch up." Sorry. No,
I didn't get
No.
it.
John Kerry's wife her last name is Heinz, and yes, she owns the Heinz ketchup and condiments business worth billions.
Really?
Yeah. So anyway,
I wonder if they met at Yale.
I have no
That's a good networking.
Probably.
Hey, you can I have your number? Oh, you own Heinz. Oh, wow. How much is that
At the
worth?
time she didn't own Heinz.
Oh, wow,
Her
okay.
dad did, but yeah.
Bro, you're set up.
That'd be like, oh, your last name's Walton? You're from Arkansas? I'm in. What the hell?
Can we get married tomorrow?
Anyway,
Anyways,
bad joke.
Skull and Bones. It's one of the oldest and most notable secret societies. I was looking at this list that the History Channel put together. It was the 5 most notable secret societies. Skull and Bones was number 4 on their list. So it's the oldest secret society at the University of Yale, which Yale is in New Haven, Connecticut. It started in 1832. It's become well known for its powerful alumni and conspiracies surrounding it. So as we said, we know who the alumni are. The conspiracies that surround it are kind of iffy on the evidence. There's not really any evidence for anything that is said. It's just more of speculation. So each year, 15 seniors at Yale are tapped to join Skull and Bones. So these are only seniors. So it's not like any freshmen are getting into this society. Their names are published in Yale Rumpus, though what happens behind closed doors of the tomb, which is what they call their the Skull and Bones Hall. It's a windowless meeting place. They gather twice a week. That's all under wraps, so that's all sworn to secrecy. Graduate members are referred to as patriarchs, while those undergoing initiation are called knights. Outsiders of the group are barbarians. So it's basically in this society, it's them against everyone else. So recently, elite Yale institutions have been transformed. This is something we also talked about. I just wanted to put this in there. I'm not putting any sort of stance on it. And actually, I'm gonna kind of defend why this is the case. But so they started out. Most of these secret societies started out as very heavily white rich male participation. So now it's much more left wing leaning. So in 2021, no conservatives were admitted at all. What were you saying in 2020? There was no
The
whites at
society
all.
tapped its first entirely non-white class in 2020.
2021.
2020
2020.
following
Okay,
year.
2020. Okay.
was when there was no conservatives.
So, again, and I'm going to ask you all this question. So, do you think this is we're talking about an Ivy League campus. Do you think that this is because they are selectively saying you are conservative, we don't want conservative thinking in this society? Or do you think it's because most universities, especially Ivy League universities, are predominantly left-wing thinking, and the amount of people that they're picking from, majority of them are left-wing, and that just they pick the best of the best, and that's what they're left
They're
with.
not picking the best of the best. When you have a group at Harvard and you have a group that is entirely non-white, I think there's one reason. We have a tendency to do knee-jerk reactions. You're right. We started off as all white, male, rich, privileged. Did that need to change? Yes. But the knee-jerk reaction has, to me, gone too far the other way. When you're to the point that you're saying no conservatives and no whites at Harvard, that's not their base. And if they continue down this road, the group will go away pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Fairness, and see, this is really going to maybe wade into troubled waters here.
Why not?
There is a difference between fairness and discrimination, and it doesn't matter which way it goes. Fairness is if I have a college that is 40% white, 20% black, and 20%, 30% Hispanic. And I have a group that is 40% white, 20% black, 40% Hispanic. Discrimination is based on knee-jerk reactions. Oh, well, we used to be all white. Now we're all Hispanic.
Or it's anytime you try to force a certain number.
It's a discrimination the other way. And to me, that doesn't matter the color. It doesn't matter black or white, white or black, or brown or Asian or whatever the color. If you're going to want to be fair, then be fair. Here's another example. Say you're the makeup of your campus has a LGBTQ regimen of another 6%. Well, make 6%. That's where your number should be.
I just looked it up
Sure.
because I didn't know. So at Yale right now, 6.9% are black / African American, 0.3% are Native American or Alaska Native, 16.8% is Asian, 0.1% is Native Hawaii or other Pacific Islander, 22.3% is international, 11.4% is Hispanic, 5.4% is two or more, so I guess two or more ethnicities, 1.2% is race, ethnicity unknown. Guess what the majority is? 35.6% white.
Yeah, and
I don't even care if you occasionally pick the best. And
You have a
whites.
bigger pool from, and it's not saying that, and some people are going to make the argument, well, whites are going to be more privileged, so they're going to be accepted in these universities more commonly because these are the top universities in the world, really.
It's been proven, and it's been proven recently that Harvard has not been using admittance into their school based on the best of the best.
I really didn't want to get into political argument. I just thought this was really interesting because
the only reason it even tends to go that way is because we didn't make it political. Skull and Bones did.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? By saying we're not going to have any we're not going to, if you're white, you can't be in.
Well, they didn't say that.
Or if,
Right.
One class. But here's the problem I have. I don't care if you occasionally, accidentally, they only have 15 members.
Yeah.
I don't care if occasionally there are no whites.
Right.
Don't go brag about it. Don't go brag about the fact that the following year there's no conservatives. When
Right.
you do that, you made an intentional effort to have in 2020 no whites, in 2021 no conservatives.
Right.
Yeah.
And just the fact that you're looking at their political affiliation
Yes.
at all is
Why-
is, is,
Why is it even
is
on
a
the-
concern, right?
Why is it even on the questionnaire?
Yeah.
Yeah, I that's where I 100%, 1,000,000% agree with that.
So so Skull and Bones has a lot of I'll kind of start wrapping this up. So according to 2016, there's a filing with the IRS. So the Russell Trust Association, that's the business name of Skull and Bones. It has assets over $3 million, and as of 2024, the organization has an endowment of $17 million. So this is a very well-off organization, tons of money. There was actually an expose written in 1986 called America's Secret Establishment. It was written by Anthony Sutton that claims Skull and Bones was out to create a new world order that was run by bonesmen. Again, if you're living in 2004, you may be thinking this theory might have some credibility. Nowadays, I mean, you see the evidence. You see, there's some notable figures, but it's not like everybody that's running the world right now is Skull and Bones.
But here's some of the things that they've been accredited for in the past, and
Accused of or
accused of.
okay.
Yeah,
You're
they've
headed
been
where I think
accused
you are.
of. They've been accused of having involvement in the John F. Kennedy assassination. They've been accused of being part of the creation of the nuclear bomb. They've been accused of, some believe, that it was created by the CIA as a direct recruiting tool
Straight to the
straight
CIA.
to the CIA. You start factoring in those things and those rumors. And I'm
Get
not
to the
saying
good stuff.
any of the,
Get to the good stuff.
Well, hang on.
Okay.
I'll let you get to the good stuff. I'm just saying when you start having those types of rumors associated with you, then people start to be like, oh, what's going on over there? New world order starts happening. What's the good stuff, Jerry?
And going along with what you're saying, a lot of it goes back to the fact that you're secret.
Yeah.
So most people are going to say, why? What are the secrets? You don't
Right.
keep
Right.
good stuff hidden. You don't keep good stuff
And
secret.
see, maybe we don't even fully understand what the difference between a fraternity and a secret society is because we don't know those secrets.
Sure.
We don't know what's going on there that's
Yeah.
different.
If you're a bourbon drinker, you don't keep your good bourbon out on the common shelf. You keep it where? Hidden.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of the good things. The Skull and Bones has a reputation for stealing keepsakes from other Yale societies, campus buildings, and even historical places. The society has been accused of stealing and possessing the stolen skulls of Martin Van Buren, Geronimo, George Bush Sr.'s grandfather, Prescott Bush,
Yeah.
supposedly was part of that group that went out and dug up Geronimo and brought it back. In January 2010, Christie's auctioned a human skull that supposedly had links to Skulls and Bones. So that was the good stuff I was saying we needed to get to.
Jerry, what is in your research, what was the favorite of yours? What was your one you want to talk about?
The Flat Hat Society.
Ooh.
The OG, the original. They really were. It started in 1750 when students at the College of William and Mary formed the FHC Society. The letters actually stand for a Latin phrase that means brotherhood, humanity, and knowledge, but it came to be known and still is known as the Flat Hat Society. Some of its most prominent members included St. George Tucker and Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson is noted as saying, "When I was a student of William and Mary College of this state, there existed a society called the WHC Society, confined to the number of 6 students only, of which I was a member. But it had no useful object, nor do I know whether it now even exists." Which leads me to believe that, like we're saying, a lot of this is about networking. A lot of the secrets are probably intended to drum up interest, thinking if we don't tell them and we keep things secret, they really knew they'd be bored to death. So let's just not tell them and let them speculate.
We drink and throw darts.
Actually, that turns out that's what a lot of them do.
Yeah.
When at least according to most of the information that we have about a lot of these, we'll get into a little bit later. This is not just a United States thing. They have them over in Oxford and Cambridge universities, and Boris Johnson, David Cameron were in one. And that's what they said that theirs were known for, just getting drunk.
And that's really not. That's what fraternities are.
Right.
And that's really the big ploy of fraternities. We got a lot of girls. We got a lot of drugs. Like,
Yep, absolutely.
we got a lot of parties. I mean,
Now, the FHC, again, was the oldest. It didn't last. The best opinion is that the society didn't survive the British invasion of Virginia at the end of the American Revolution. So it went away pretty quickly. It was revived in 1916. They're not for sure when it went away again, but it did. It was revived again in 1972. So the Flat Hat Club. And Steve, what would your favorite one be?
Well, I really like, if I had to choose one that I like, would have to be probably, I really like, and I want to make sure I get the name right. So hang on one second. Scroll here. Yeah, the Seven Society, University of Virginia. And it was founded allegedly in 1905. And when we talk about secret clubs, it doesn't get much more secret than this. One of the most bizarre traditions they have is members aren't even made public until they die.
That's pretty secret.
And you can always tell that when a Seven Society member has passed because a wreath of black magnolias in the form of a seven will be draped over their casket. That's how you know.
which that is so cool, by the way. Like, if you're like a grandkid, you know, just like think about your grandfather dying and they got like that seven. Like, I mean, I think that would just be super cool.
Tell them about the bells. When there's a funeral, what happens with the bells at school?
They ring 7 times.
Not just 7 times.
This is at the University of Virginia?
At the University of Chapel, the bell tower, which they donated, rings at 7-second intervals at the 7th dissonant chord when it is 7 past the hour.
Isn't that crazy? So
Wow.
some of the most concrete evidence of the society existing is the number 7 markings left around campus. A lot of times during their football games, before they went to turf, there would be a 7 that would be on the field. Now they've moved that to a hillside and they get the black magnolias over there. But the one thing that the Seven Society has always done has been a very generous
Philanthropic.
Thank you. Good gravy, my mouth is not working tonight. To the university. Their donations arrive in letters signed with the 7 astronomical symbols in order: Earth, Jupiter, Mercury, Mars, Neptune, Uranus, and Venus. Donations and scholarships are given to students in need in the given quantities. For example, $777 or $1,777. One of the things that they're famous for, and we don't technically know if it's true, but in 1947, a small explosion is said to have interrupted the commencement ceremony. When the smoke cleared, a check for $177,777,077 floated to the ground. The university used the money to create an interest-free loan program for students and faculty members in financial trouble. To me, that's just cool. I mean, that's
awesome.
It's really super secret, and they are actually known to be a force of good, especially around their own campus.
So do you know of anybody who, I mean, they'd have to have died.
Right. And there really isn't any that I could find. Some of the people that when they have died, that have had that 7 draped over their casket: John Lloyd Newcomb, Joseph Twinham, and Edward Stinius Jr. And I don't know who any of those people are.
I looked them up, but I didn't know who one of them were.
I didn't know any of them. So that's my favorite. Now, some notables: the Cadaver Society at Washington and Lee University.
Who's that?
The Cadaver Society is another group that has shared so little information it's unclear whether they still or ever existed.
But who do they think are potential members?
I'll get to that in a second. Let me tell you a little bit about them.
Okay.
The rumors of this society alone are worthy of placing it in this conversation. While it's only speculation, many people believe the Cadaver Society were a group of pre-med students with leadership qualities, high academic grades, and an appreciation of university traditions. Most concrete evidence of this club is the sign, which is a skull in the letter C, scrawled all across campus. They are said to wander campus at night dressed in black, their faces covered with a skull mask as they graffiti the school basically with their sign. Like any good secret society, they also seem to have plenty of money, making donations to the college. In 1988, the Cadavers reportedly donated $150,000 to renovate the frat houses. One of the most salacious, however, of all the Cadaver rumors is that they were a branch of the Illuminati. It's rumored that the Cadavers traveled around campus in the series of secret tunnels. I don't know if that's true or not. But it doesn't. I don't have a list of any of their people.
Well, I like the fact of the pre-med students.
Yeah, the
A
Cadavers.
group of pre-med students joining a secret society called the Cadavers.
Yeah, that's. I would think that that's where they got their name, but you know.
But
And
how would you feel if you found out your doctor belongs to a group called the Secret Cadaver Society?
I wouldn't care as long as I'm not one of his
No,
cadavers.
I'm leaving. I'm not going to be one of his cadavers.
Hey, he must be. I mean, he must be pretty. So he must be pretty good if he's picked in this.
Pretty good at what? Making cadavers? I'm not gonna
I don't
find
know
out.
what their selection
If
process is
I'm
like.
personally going to be at Harvard and get to be a part of a club, I want to be part of the Porcelain Club. And we're not talking toilets.
Is that how you, where is it? Let me find that.
Founded in 1794, the Porcelain Club was one of the first college societies. Its motto, Dum Vivius Vivimus. I do not speak Latin.
Doom Viva Moose.
Yeah, which translated is, while we live, let us live. And I let me just say that
I think
again.
it's called Porcelian, by the way.
Okay, good. What? Porcelain? What did I say?
Use it
Porcelain.
Oh, it is Porcelain. I'm an
I think.
idiot.
I'm not sure. I think.
No, I think you're right. I'm an idiot.
No, not at all. It's first glance. That's what I would call it too.
But their motto, while we live, let us live. I like that. I dig that.
I like that too.
And you're shaking your head, Jerry. But how many people?
No, I'm just saying that's the best part is their mascot. Once you get to their mascot,
Oh, wait. Well, yeah. But think of how many people that are alive. And I've been thinking about this a lot, especially here lately. How many people are alive but simply exist? I was talking to a really good friend, somebody I love and care about very much, just the other day, about people who get to a certain spot in their life and they give up. They stop taking care of themselves. They stop taking care of the way they look and how they are. And they just kind of go through life in the routine. You're just not living. You're
even
existing.
before they give up, I think there's a lot of people who just kind of plateau.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's almost giving up.
Right. So I really dig that. While we live, let us live. Anyway, the Porcelians, and I think that's how I think you're 100% right. The club mascot is a pig. Members of the club are recognized by clothing items and accessories that have pigs on them, pigs' heads printed on them. The clubhouse is known as the Old Barn and is a 3-story mansion located directly across the road from Harvard Yard. Membership is competitive and invitation only. Legend has it that only non-members invited to the Old Barn were President Dwight Eisenhower. Yet when he tried to gain entry again after his presidency had ended, he was turned away. Here's
That's
the
pretty
thing.
selective.
Yeah, very selective. You can't help us anymore, so you're out. But here's the cool thing. There's a rumor that if members of the Porcelian have not earned their first $1 million by the time they turn 40,
They give it to
they
them.
give it to you.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
my.
Again, it's a rumor. Who
some of the
knows?
people that were involved with the Porcellian Club, the Winklevoss twins, had no idea. Teddy Roosevelt, Oliver Wendell Holmes.
And one that didn't make it?
Franklin Delano Roosevelt was not asked to join.
Could you imagine? FDR, one of the most impactful presidents, whether you agree with him or disagree with him, he's the most impactful presidents of all time. And so I looked this up. So Skull and Bones obviously asked George W. Bush to be a part of their organization. Do you guys know what his GPA was at Yale?
Not that good.
2.35.
Do
That is awful.
Listen. Watch out now. There's some people sitting at this table, that's what they graduated with. So easy there, fuzzy little man.
I'm just saying
when there is
that is
a,
below like the C average.
what is it called? The event where the presidential candidates go and roast themselves. What's that called?
I don't know.
I know what you're talking about.
Every 4 years they have this event, and they don't all like Trump refused to go. Can you imagine Trump roasting himself? Bush did an absolute fantastic job with Kerry. Here's the line that I love the best. He said, while at Yale, John Kerry wrote a book. While at Yale, I read one.
I love George
Dude,
W.
I tell you what, man. And it, 9/11, I mean, he was. I think his approval rating was like sky high because of the way he handled everything. And
you know, we're going to not make this political show.
no, yeah,
But Jerry and I've talked at length a million times. The one thing I liked about George W., whether you're Democrat, Republican, if he said something, whether you agreed with him or didn't agree with them, that's how he truly felt.
He
Yeah.
wasn't saying it because he thought it was
Right.
popular.
Right. And to flip that on the other side, we also feel the same way. I personally feel the same way about Barack Obama. If he said something, it's
I would
because
agree
he
with you.
truly
I would agree
felt
with you.
that way,
Yeah.
whether I agreed with him or not.
I would
Um,
definitely agree with you. Yeah.
So I can
And then there's
appreciate
some
people
like
who do that.
Bill Clinton.
Yeah,
Sorry.
who
Were these exact opposite.
have sexual relations with that woman.
No. He had to take
terrible.
Wait,
had
that
to
was a
take-
great impression. What do you mean?
That was terrible.
But it's
You
true.
just
He had to
think
take a poll before he decided what he felt about anything. Yeah, we lied earlier when we said we're not going to turn this into a political show.
This is the most political show
So
I've ever
anyway,
been part
yeah,
of.
this is the most political, and we're not getting any. In fact, let's stop right there. Brett, secret college societies, do they need more or less news coverage?
Man, I tell you what, if there's like a news article that says, hey, Ivy League college is exposed, you know, secret society is, you know, sacrificing human babies. I don't know. I'd be like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But as of right now, I would say thumbs down.
Thumbs down. Jerry?
Well, I would love to say thumbs down, but I'm looking through my notes and there's one we didn't cover.
Uh-oh.
So for that
So you
reason
need no
alone,
more
it needs
notable.
more coverage. We didn't talk about the order of the bull's blood.
Okay.
Otherwise, yeah. Big
Let's
thumbs
talk
down.
about it. You got some time?
That was total BS.
Oh.
It does not. Great. It does not deserve to be talked about at all.
So you're thumbs down.
I'm a thumbs down.
I am also, we all agree on one.
We do.
Whoa.
That never happens.
Yeah, I just, you know, it's great. It's something if you're having a weird conversation over some bourbon or something to be like, oh, I wonder what they
Yeah.
do in there. But we
It's an
don't know.
interesting
It's a
topic.
secret. If you have been a member of a secret society in a college, shoot us an email.
Tell us why we're wrong.
Let us know why we're wrong and why it is important. I mean, if you're willing to send that email, we're willing to have you on to talk about it for sure. But until then, thumbs down from all three of us. Woo! First time ever.
I know.
Man, that episode is really interesting. And if you'll stick around for us for just a few commercials, we have another great story to tell you.
Hi, this is Ed Locke with USA Mortgage. When it comes to buying a home, the process can be overwhelming and confusing. With so many options, it can be hard to know where to start. That's why it's important to work with a certified mortgage loan originator. I have the knowledge and expertise to guide you through the process and find the best mortgage option for you. I will work with you every step of the way to ensure that you are getting the best deal possible. So if you're looking to purchase or refinance, please reach out to me at 502-680-0953. So don't take on the stress of buying a home alone. Work with me and I will make your dream a reality. Trust the professionals and make your home buying experience a positive one. MLS ID 448908, DAS Acquisition Company, LLC, doing business as USA Mortgage, MLS ID 227262. This is not a commitment to lend. Additional terms and conditions apply. USA Mortgage is equal housing opportunity.
If you want us to review or rate your product on air, if you have suggestions for new episodes, awesome ghost stories, or anything else, please reach out to us. Our email address is newsworthywithsteveandjerry@gmail.com. Our text number is area code 540-709-1318.
And now, back to the story.
At 40 years old, Franz Kafka, born in 1883, died in 1924, who had never married and had no children, was strolling through a park in Berlin. He met a small girl who was crying because she lost her favorite doll. She and Kafka searched for the doll, unsuccessfully. Kafka told her they would meet there the next day and would come back for her. The next day, the doll had not been found. Kafka gave the girl a letter, written, and I'm using air quotes, by the doll that said, "Please don't cry. I've taken a trip to see the world. I'll write to you about all my adventures." Thus began a story that continued to the end of Kafka's life. During their encounters, Kafka would read the doll's carefully written letters with adventures and conversations that the girl found adorable. Finally, Kafka brought back the doll, he had bought one, that had returned finally to Berlin. "That looks nothing like my doll," the little girl said. Kafka handed her another letter in which the doll had written, "My travels had changed me." The little girl hugged the new doll and took her happily home. A year later, Kafka died. And many years later after that, the girl, now an adult, had found yet one more letter inside the doll. The tiny letter signed by Kafka read, "Everything you love will be lost. But in the end, love will return in a different way. Embrace the change. It is inevitable for growth. And together we can transform pain into wonder and wonder into love. But it's up to us to consciously and intentionally create that connection."
And Jerry, if you can't see the light,
Be the light.